Alright people, welcome to this new video in the Unpopular Opinion series. Today we are going to discuss personal certifications. So did you ever find yourself in a situation having to argue for or against certifications and why you might want to have one or why it makes absolute no sense? So then you have come to the right place. We are going to put light on some of those topics. And I also experienced one or the other situation. So first of all, let's go here into the editing mode and let's start with the very simple statement. Do you even need cybersecurity certificates? Okay, do you need that stuff? And I just would like to give you my personal opinion on that and how I experienced it. So first of all, let's get an overview of these certifications. How do they typically look like? And for that, I just copy paste from Google one of the pictures that I found here to just get an overview. How do they look like? So when we talk about certifications, what we typically mean is here you have some ISACA certifications, CISA, CISM, CRISC. You have the ICS certifications, the CISSP, which is like a classic for decades now. You have SANS certifications, or GIC certifications for certain security topics, and you have EC Council. You have many more, by the way, but those are quite popular for last years. And well, I meet people all the time who are very against certifications. They say, you know what, I have expertise, and having a certification doesn't show that the person knows something. It's just like having school grades. It's not showing experience. And yeah, this is the sentence. Let's write it down. Certifications do not beat, and then they say experience. And I agree with that. Okay, this is what they typically say, and I would put the whole thing into brackets because then you know that's an opinion there. This is what I hear all the time. It doesn't beat experience, and I would say yes, I agree. I totally agree. It doesn't beat experience. Agree. But the thing is, it's again not one or the other, and you don't have to choose always between one side or the other in life, you know. So just because you have a certification, it doesn't mean that you are against experience. Just because you like experience, it doesn't mean that you have to be against certifications. But the discussions that I witnessed in the past and participated, but these days I no longer participate in that. I have my opinion and that's good, but it's always one or the other. But in my philosophy, if this can be even called a philosophy, okay, so let's delete some of these things and rearrange them. So in my philosophy, if you wanna have good results, okay, that's our goal, right? Good work results. This is what you want. And this consists of two things, I would say. And the one thing is education. That's the one thing that you need for good work results. The other thing is experience, of course. And there are many more, by the way. A good team. And we will add these things now. But oh, I think I need this. No, I need this, like this. And then we need this, like this. Yeah, but there's many more, so let's write them down as well, but in small letters, you know. So what else do you need? Maybe a little bigger, and also let's switch to the reading mode that you can see a little better. So you need good work ethics, okay, for good work results. What else do you need? Maybe good health, okay, if you're unhealthy, you don't need anything anymore, you know. good health. I noticed that the other day, so I catch the cold. I didn't want to do anything. It happens. What else do you need? Um, you need a good people around you that you like. You know, the guy can be as educated as he wants. If I can't smell that person, I don't care. Okay. So these are all the things that you also might want to consider. You know, sometimes even simple things like a nice summer day. You know, nice environment. That's what brings you to good results in the end, and a whole more things. Okay. Obviously, maybe sometimes for me this makes a difference if I really have a good breakfast. So sometimes I'm lazy, you know, I just eat a little bit and go to job, but good food, okay, good exercise. So there's so much in the sport club or something like this. I don't know how to say it in English. The gym. So look, there's so many things to consider in this field. But today we just focus on, and I mark those at the top, I mark them green now to make just a point. I agree with these for sure. There is no argument about these. The argument takes place here for some reason. Oh, I have a lot of experience, so the education certification doesn't need are not required. And I don't understand, and it's an unpopular opinion here, why people always think about this topic one or the other. You gotta choose one. And I can tell you from what I've seen well, I participate in this game now for a little over a decade, and I can tell you experience comes on its own. And that's why I want to write that down. That stuff right here, it just comes on its own. Just sit on your ass for 20 years, and after 20 years, you can say you have 20 years of experience. Comes on its own. That's the thing. And that's a little bit the lazy approach from my perspective. So, on the other hand, education and certification is part of education, requires hard work, you know. You don't get educated just by nothing. You gotta read books. This is hard work. This, you can sit on your ass for 20 years. I don't know what you did the last 20 years if you tell me you have 20 years of work experience. Heck knows what you have been doing there. But if you show me certificates, I know for sure how much effort you put into that. And that's the big difference. You need both from my experience. And I also have both. Okay. Sure, let's jump back on the page of these certificates. You don't want to have all of them. What's the point? You want to have some of those and maintain them because that's the reason. So let's jump into the question: why have certificates? Okay, so why have them? And here, let's put just another bubble here and say, or well, why have certificates is one thing. Yeah, let's call it like this. Have why have them? And on the other side, we say, why avoid them? Because the thing is, I understand what goes through their head when they argue against it or for that. Well, let's add a little bit of other shape here so to make it a little bit more interesting. So why have them? You can show expertise to a guy who doesn't know you. I don't know you. Show expertise to unknown person. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is be or force with certain topics. So be engaged with certain topics. The certification forces you to read on topics that you would have not read otherwise. Okay, exposure to the topic. And those are the two things that I can think of why you would like to have that stuff. Like this. Then, let's go to the other side. What are arguments why not to have them? Well, and these arguments are real. They're really bad. It's expensive. Waste of money? Question mark. Yes, it's expensive. It can be seen as a waste of money, and I don't understand why certificates must be so expensive. Seriously, I don't know. Then, maintenance costs money. So roughly $100 per year per certificate. Something like that. So just for example, I'm paying a maintenance fee of I think $800 every year for the certificates that I have. I have like 7 or 8 of the big ones. Yes, I'm paying like roughly $700-800 every year for that stuff. It's a bit expensive for my taste. Then what is another reason not to have them? Well, you need to gather these CPE points. CPE, which stands for Continuous Professional Education. Okay, this means you got to gather these points. You have to go to conferences, you have to do all kinds of educational additional activities, watch these videos on the websites of the provider, and then you have to tell them, okay, I did points. And this right here is usually, oh, not that. This is usually, let's make it a bit smaller here, 30 hours per year. Okay, these continuous professional education stuff. 30 hours per year. That's quite something. So you can also say, like every second week you need to spend 1 hour. Well, it's not much if you really, but you don't have the time to do this every second week for this and that because the activities they take longer. So every month you need to like sit down maybe for 4 hours and then you get there. Okay, so this is what it is. It's tedious. Okay. And the other thing, why to avoid certificates? Well, a lot of the stuff you learn in these certificates is actually not relevant. It's really not relevant. So the critique that these haters have is real. Most or lots of the topics are irrelevant. Yes, this is absolutely right. There's nothing to say about that. So, okay. So now we get at this. Why, and here again, why have them show expertise to unknown person? Force yourself to engage with the topics. Well, show motivation. Okay, if I see somebody with the certificates, I know that guy is highly motivated for the job. He's doing certificates. Okay, show motivation and initiative. So this is a good thing. Okay, so that's the two arguments. There are more of them. And now let's add the two common statements. So this side of the game says I have 25 years of work experience. I don't need these certificates. And then something like that. The newbies can go, what did I write wrong? Experience. I don't need these certifications. The newbies can take those courses. That's one opinion on the right side. I dislike it. Okay, I dislike it. I don't like to work with people who have this attitude. And then you have on this side also a type of people I dislike. That's why we make them both red, because both of them are absolutely not right. Look, I'm the great expert. I have these 15 certifications. That's also very, very terrible attitude. Okay? This is, you don't want to be that guy, you don't want to be that guy. You know what you want to be? You want to be a guy who has both. So you want to be in the middle of that discussion because it's always this polarized bullshit doesn't help anybody. You want to be this guy who says, I'm eager to learn about cybersecurity. I have some years of experience and I also have some certifications that relevant to my job. That's what you want to say. That's the guy you want to be and that's the person you want to work with. That's me. Okay, that's pretty much me here. I'm eager to learn about cybersecurity. Yes, I am. I have some years of experience and also, well, more than some years, but you got to start somewhere, right? And also have some certifications that are relevant to my job. That's it. That's what you want to be. Don't be on one side of the game or on the other. I have 20, this is the typical boomer generation dude. This is the typical newbie straight from university. Like, let's write this down here. So there's some stereotypes behind that as well, right? So this guy right here, as far as I can tell, is 28 to 35 or 30, maybe 37-year old. Okay, that's that guy. And you, again, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I advise don't be that guy. I want to make it a bit smaller here. That's the age range, and then you can say what generation this is. You can estimate by that. The people here on this side, as far as I can tell, they are 45 plus. 45 plus years old. Okay, this is the boomer generation, maybe the kids of the boomers, something like that. Not quite, something in between. But these guys are 45 years old. So these right here, who claim that, are typically digital natives. They grew up with technology. Digital natives. I'm a digital native, for example. When I grew up, there was Nintendo, there was Super Mario, there was... So we grew up with that stuff. These people, not digital natives. This is hippie generation. Okay, they grew up with nature, you know, running around, soccer. They had the hippie generation, so heavy drug abuse, but we have that too in our generation. So digital natives and drug abuse, that doesn't exclude itself. But nevertheless, this is the stereotypes that you have here. I have 25 years of work experience. I don't need anything. Oh, look, I have 2 years of work experience, but these 15 certifications, and I don't need to learn anything anymore. And what you want to be is a person right in the middle. So you need both. And now let's get to another aspect, and then we are done with this video. So let me copy this. So then again, one of the question. So comparison to real world. So how does it compare to the real world? So question mark. And I would like to add a picture now so that it's easier to understand. So let's get real quick into the editing mode here and insert an image. So imagine, so I was looking, bus driver. Okay, so you're driving a bus. Imagine, remember your school days, bus driver, and there's like, okay, I need to pick now a proper picture, but I don't know. So yeah, this guy's okay. So there's a bus driver, okay, and imagine this guy says, and let's see if there's a nice shape for that. So there's not only the cloud, but there sometimes is this thought cloud, you know, this thought cloud. Yeah, this one, cool. We have it here. So imagine this guy sitting there in his bus and saying, you know what? I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a driving license, but I have 30 years of experience driving the bus. Years of experience. the bus. That's what he says. Well, I don't know how you think, but I would not get into that bus. Okay? I wouldn't get into that bus. I would find it dangerous if a guy is like, oh, you know what? I have all work experience. Yes, fine, dude, but why don't you have a license if you do that job? So in the real world, we all understand these things and we are like, yeah, for sure, a bus driver needs a license, otherwise he cannot do his job. You know, the same thing with, let's insert another image, you know, and I want to give you some examples like a cook at the restaurant. Okay, right, there you go. So preparing your lunch. Yeah, same thing. I can cook perfectly, but I did never, I have absolutely no certification on hygiene, on anything, you know, on toxic stuff to avoid. I can cook well, but I did not participate in any courses. All right. So first of all, here in Germany, this is forbidden. Okay. So it is not just in Germany, anywhere in the world. But simple question: if a cook writes this on his in his restaurant, our employees are all absolutely not educated on the matter. Would you eat there? Of course, it tastes well. You are cooking at home too, without any certifications. But if you go to the restaurant, would you eat if the cook says he's not educated on that matter? Well, you wouldn't. Same with the bus driver, same with the pilot. Okay, same. So in the rest of the world, for some reason, yes, same thing. Okay, now let's copy that. So because these slides they will stay for. Okay, then we have here this pilot who's like, oh, you know what? I have experience, but you know what? 30 years, I have no license, pilot's license, but 30 years of experience flying this plane, you know. So in other work, or not work, in other life examples, we do not accept the absence of certificates. But in cybersecurity, which is a pretty fresh topic, there is still, for some reason, the idea that you can be an expert without any formal education whatsoever. And I disagree with that. Okay, so if I meet a new person and I need to make myself a judgment whether, okay, is this an expert or not, I want to see both. I want to see at least 5 to 10 years of experience. Then I see, okay, it's not a rookie anymore. And the next thing I want to see is, well, this might be the first or second thing. There's no order. But the next thing I want to see is, okay, what certifications do you have? What educational background do you have? And also what we didn't cover here is, these are the secondary educational measures. Obviously, you have primary education, which is university, school, apprenticeship. This we don't cover here. Of course, this is also necessary. When we talk about here, a guy in cybersecurity has some education from university or from wherever, and these are the secondary education on the job that we talk about here. And you want to be that guy, okay? So we are not going to drive to draw pictures on how it goes well, except one. So let's create one of those. We turn this green, and we say, right? So this goes here, and we say instead, or we say better, double point. I do my job well, and I am also educated properly. This is what you want to be, okay? And this is what you have in real life, okay? The pilot has a license, the bus driver has a license, the cook has some cooking stars or whatever they have there. I'm not familiar with that stuff. The policeman showing up having no right to do whatever. So don't be that guy, okay? That's what I just want to tell you. always bring back this discussion to real-world examples. If you want to be a cybersecurity professional, do that. And we have the same thing in cybersecurity. We have different parts. So the bus driver might be incident response. The pilot might be forensics. The cook might be logging and monitoring or vulnerability management. So there are different things that can be done, and for every discipline you need specific certifications. So there is no silver bullet. Let's look back here. All of these certifications target specific job roles, and you just need to pick one that suits you, okay? But don't be that guy who thinks cybersecurity is done by experience. This is not how it works. I want you to waste some money on it, to waste some time on it, and to also deal with the irrelevant topics, because this shows me the motivated individual is eager to learn something, and it is not one of these people knows it all. Okay, this is really such annoying people. People who know it all. They're educated on everything. Knows knows it all. And you know who else is a knows it all? This guy. This guy also knows it all. They think they eaten up the certificates and now they are well educated forever. And this guy thinks he's well educated just because of experience. What's the matter? Nobody knows anything. And the real attitude you want to have, and I try to be that person, but it's really difficult, but you never know. You want to be humble, you know? Humble. And the humble opinion goes like this. I try to do my job as good as I can, but I cannot know it all. I try my best to keep up with the new technology or whatever there is, with the new things in cyber. That's the attitude. Okay, here I try my best. That's the guy you want to be. Okay, humble, do a little bit of education, gain experience. You gain it anyways. There's no way to not gain experience. If you sit on your chair for 1 year, you gained 1 year experience. Okay, you cannot live your life without getting older. So these 25 years of experience, you will have them eventually, want it or not. But these 15 certifications on the left side, you will only have them if you work on it. Okay. The thing is, that's the thing, you shouldn't be like proud of that, or for some reason this guy on the left dislikes the guy on the right, and the guy on the right dislikes the guy on the left. They dislike each other. The one is an experience, the one is certificates. Don't be that. Okay, don't engage in this really childish way of thinking about things. So if you do a job, get some educations for that job, and this is just what you do. And yes, the bus driver has to go to school too. Do you remember your driving license? I learned some signs that I have never seen on the street. Still, for the exam, I had to learn them. Or I remember my motorcycle exam. There was a question. I still remember it because it was stupid in my understanding. The question was, where can you lean your motorcycle against? And there were 3 possible answers: against the wall, against the fence, or against a shield, like a shield like a sign on the street. And I thought to myself, why should I lean my motorcycle against that? Because the motorcycle, it can perfectly stand on its own. Why should I lean it against the wall? Questions like this. And guess what? One of the 3 answers is correct, and one is 2 of the 3. One is correct and 2 are wrong. I still don't know which of the answers is correct. All I know is I wouldn't lean my motorcycle against any of that. You don't want to be doing that. But this is the stuff I learned to get the license, and I obtained the license, and that's okay. Same as the bus driver, same as the pilot, same as the cook. In cybersecurity, since it's a new field, we still have a lot of uncertainty on that field. Well, we are 30 minutes into the video. I just wanted to share these few thoughts with you. Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think about certifications? Should you have them? Shouldn't you have them? But my opinion, you've heard now, yes, you should. You should have some certifications relevant to your job. And then, or while you maintain them, you gather experience. Yes, so that's my humble opinion on these things. Thank you guys for watching, and see you soon. Goodbye.